Honorable Chair, the same files are held by all the honorable members here.
You can read.
Yes. Where are people? This document looks like this if it's the one he's referring to.
Chair, yes, that's the one.
It is in the red file.
And I want honorable members to look at the third page of that document.
You had misled us. It is under 1, Appendix 1, not F3, at least according to the files we have.
Okay. Mr. Sekabira, please, go ahead.
Chair, on the third page of that document is item number 2, which shows the financial position of Faith Trust Bank as at the date of closure. Chair, if I can, I want to first give a background.
But what point are you trying to
This
make?
is the inventory.
Where?
This is the inventory of the bank, which was showing that the assets of the bank were far less than the liabilities of the bank at the time of its closure.
Are we talking about the same thing, Mr. Sekabira?
Yes, Chair. The third page of that is called page 1, but in terms of order, it is the third page of that document. And item number 2 talks about the financial position of Faith Trust Bank as at the date of closure.
Let me do this. Do you have an accountant here?
Yes.
You are not in Bank of Uganda.
We have both.
Do you have any of you have people from the accounts? Yes? Sir, what, Mr. Sekavira, don't do that, please. It's not correct. Okay?
Chair, I was trying to show you the accountant in the room.
No, it isn't that. And I think it is wrong. Accountant, tell us, what is an inventory? And I needed a professional view of what an inventory is.
Chair, through the governor, what we have here is a statement.
Leave that document.
An inventory is a list, a listing of the assets and liabilities. I have land plot number this located here. I have cash this much. I have this vehicle. That would be an inventory.
That would be an inventory. Do you see an inventory here? What Mr. Sekavera is showing me?
Chair, it is not an inventory, it is a summary of the inventory.
Please.
It's not an inventory, sir.
Mr. Chairman.
I need to steer this meeting properly, professionally, and with integrity. Because we are taking this process very seriously. I did say Ghana some time back when you met. So your officer should say there is no inventory, and we see how we proceed. Or there was, Mr. Is there an inventory or not? So this other thing, please.
Chair, through Governor, I wanted to say something about...
Answer the question, then you'll say what you want to say. Is there an inventory? Like the accountant has said, and not that we didn't know it, but we wanted a confirmation. Is there an inventory or not?
a summary of the inventory.
Where is the inventory?
That's
Because even if you talk about a summary, logically it would arise from somewhere, then you summarize it. It is the inventory is the source document of the summary. Isn't that the accountant? Isn't that so?
Yes or no? Use the mic.
Mr. Chairman, the way forward, if you permit.
Let's sort this out first.
And accountant first and answer.
There's no magic about it. Let us agree there is no inventory and we proceed. We are wasting a lot of time, really. Yes, Deputy Governor.
Thank you, Chair. At the time of the closure of Tefe, the law was the 1969 law. And the nature of documents required at that time to be kept and presented, we don't have that inventory as of now. Now, point number 2 is, from all the information that we've provided information relating to the financial position of Tefe, the assets and the liabilities. And you will notice that in number 1, there is communication between the supervision department and the governor. There is communication between Bank of Uganda and the Ministry of Finance. On the basis of the financial position, and the conclusion from all this communication is that the bank was insolvent. And the numbers provided do reflect that the bank was insolvent. And that was the basis of the closure.
I think there are 2 points here. It is true that the FIS specifically provides for it. But an institution that is acting prudently, if you are taking over a bank, an institution, did the law say don't give an inventory? Okay, the law did say don't give an inventory. You can't move in an institution, take it over without acknowledging what you are, or documenting what you are taking over. Because there is no law, Deputy Governor, which says don't do an inventory. But prudent, sound, and professional practice would require you to take an inventory. But colleagues, the inventory is not there. So can we go to the second point? We are going to have...
But Chair, how did they arrive?
No. We are. Let me tell you, the truth is, there is no inventory.
But how did they arrive at the summary?
We are going now to interrogate those details. But the point of, because if we ask for a document which is not there, we will not get it.
But Chair.
Okay, relax. I'm going to pick all of you. Just relax. I'll start with somebody who has not. Okay. Can I have to put up their hands? If you have not said anything before, yes, Sheila. My own from East.
Right. Thank you, Chair. With the kind of discussion we are having, it seems like Tefe Bank just dissolved into the air. It is in our interest that we know who the directors of this bank are, first of all. I'm sure that is not confidential information.
No, the list I have.
Yes, we'd like it to go on record who they are that did not have an inventory and other documents as well. Secondly, that these documents were not available. Is it all of them or this specific one? And if the other documents are available, can we have them handed over to the auditor for auditing? Because in the report, he says he could not do anything because he had nothing whatsoever. Now, in the response from Bank of Uganda, they seem to have a few documents put together. Can they be handed over right away for auditing so that in going forward we know what we have and what we don't? Then finally, in the matrix, we find that the liquidator was actually Bank of Uganda. How did you go about? Yes, in the matrix, Bank of Uganda handled this directly. On the file, we have the file. We have solicitor auctioneers with their list of so many properties that could have been liquidated. Thank you.
Yes, the directors are here. The chairman, in peace, Sevana Chizito Tonovo. The number 2, Professor Gambe, Ike, I think he's still alive. Number 3, Dr. M. Kasasa. Those people who come from around here, I don't know whether anybody, is he alive? He's alive. Please. So this one we don't know. We shall try to ask those who are alive if he's still around. Reverend Dan Kajumba is alive but is out of the country. Then Mr. C.N. Kabenge. The Honorable Mbabal seems to know all of them. So those are the directors, Honorable Sheila. Then 2, before I colleagues, we are talking about inventory report. Let us talk about the loan schedules. No, we are going now, we get all the documents together. Yeah, just 1 second. Where are the loan schedules?
Chair, I can see the ED looking around. He has not delegated this.
No. Chair, through the governor, even the loan schedules are not available. We have, at least in checking with the archives, we have failed to find them. However, on the other list of documents, the customer deposit schedules are available.
Let's go one by one. Is it true? Looks like Mr. Sekabira knows some more about it. Where are the loan schedules? Because that referred to you, your ED had referred to you.
Yeah.
The inventory is not there. Where are the loan schedules?
I think the liquidator was liquidating assets and recovering loans because he also returned certain documents and title deeds to Bank of Uganda after he had completed his exercise. I want to imagine that they are in an archive which has been located, are not been located yet, but they are there. Yeah, they are there.
Mr. Chair, this could guide us, Mr. Chairman.
Honorable Segona, then Honorable Sewungo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And then, sorry, Nathan. Colleagues, I just want to be as fair as possible to everybody, so that everybody. So, if you know you've spoken, let allow some person other than this one I've already picked. From that point, if there's somebody who has not spoken and his hand is up, it's fair enough that we pick him. But this one I've already what? Picked, can speak. Thereafter, that will be the rule.
With the exception of vice.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. You made the right decision after choosing the right people. My interest, Mr. Chairman,
I still have the residual right to rescind the decision.
I appreciate you have not exercised it, Mr. Chairman, and you're not about. My concern on who was supposed to prepare some of these documents and where that person, he or she, is. Because before I, not trust, but I ask the executive director to take responsibility, I want to know that particular person who was charged with a responsibility that was A, never executed, or executed badly that we can find documents. I'm interested in knowing how you take over somebody's bank and you say there is no list of property. You don't have a list of liabilities that led to the closure of somebody's bank. I am interested in knowing where that person is hiding.
I think he's not hiding, just say where is that.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Yeah. Yes, thank you, Chair. Chair, can you hear me? Now, Chair, I have this document which I had referred in the file. This document, according to the Deputy Governor, they are saying TEFE was closed using the law of 1969. When you read this document, the reasons for closure are spelled out in FIS of 1993. And TEFE was closed in 1993. So I want to find out which law did you use. That is number. Number two, Chair, this very document is showing what the bank before the closure, the findings, and after the closure. So for TEFE, what did you do before? Which findings did you have, and what did you have after? Because the other banks, their information is very clear here. Those are the two clarifications I want to get, Chair.
Mr. Chairman, I have more limited questions, but Mr. Chairman, I want to state this, that whenever the Bank of Uganda come to respond to you sarcastically and taking matters lightly, they are pushing us to become tough to them. And when we raise our tempers, you will just control them, because we know them as professionals. Where they are failing to play their role, we cannot leave it, and most especially when they are playing with your chair. But, Mr. Chairman, first of all, why we have these recordings is because you are keeping records, not so? Now, we have two positions here, and we have not expunged one. Mr. Sekabira, this one now facing here. Richard, he stated that this was he called it a summary. Summarize the inventory, and the Deputy Governor Bank of Uganda said there was no inventory. We have two statements on the floor of this committee, and as if we are keeping them. So between you, Mr. Deputy Governor, and your subordinate, who is telling us the truth? Then, secondly, as I conclude, when you look at what Mr. I'm sorry I came in late.
Honorable Badiri, I've seen you.
Mr. Sekabira,
and you'll be speaking after Honorable.
I was trying to explain. I'm concluding. Maybe. Yeah, she had a procedural matter, and I thought so. Okay. So I want to ask these people,
in the simplest language possible. If you have a document you have presented within your file showing a list of tangible assets auctioned, Mr. Chairman, that is at, there's no page, however, but the heading is solicitors auctioneers. How did you arrive at these documents if there was no inventory? That's the question.
Order.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Order.
Yeah, procedure takes precedence over order.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I can't see. Mr. Chairman, wouldn't it be procedure right that we get the witness state whether all these required documents as raised in the Auditor General's report are available or not, all of them. And Mr. Chairman, when I draw to your attention the last line from the Auditor General's report, they're saying that Bank of Uganda management explained that they will continue to search into the archive to get all the information. And at this point, Mr. Chairman, wouldn't we be procedure right that they get to us all the available documents, or all of them not available, and then we proceed rather than reacting on one document at a go? Because as members, we are going to take a lot of time, Mr. Chairman. Wouldn't that be procedurally right?
Honorable Babali, yes, you know procedure takes precedence over order, so my hands are tied.
Mr. Chairman, I'm raising this procedure issue in respect to Rule 205, D205D. And I wish to read it verbatim first of all. It says, in the exercise of its function is, a committee shall have the powers of the High Court for 1, but my interest is in 2, comparing the production of documents. Mr. Chairman, there are 2 issues we have to separate. There is what has been called the requirement of the law, and I'm not an expert there. But there is what I think is the requirements of the professional discipline. We are talking about finance. An inventory is a requirement of this professional discipline, finance. It may not be a requirement of law, but it is a basis. And I want to understand this as a teacher. It may not be a requirement of production of the examination script. But when I produce marks and I'm doubted, I could be compelled to bring the script on which I based my awarding of the marks. Mr. Chairman, isn't it procedural correct that we invoke Rule 205 D2 to compel Bank of Uganda not to ask, we have been asking, but now the rule says compel production of the documents? That in the report of the Auditor General itself, is it amazing that he could not fulfill the objectives from him? We have got the report was the and it only documents are just from the Committee of Parliament, as they were hidden from the Auditor General at the making of this report.
Further procedure, Chair.
Okay.
Procedure.
No. There are 2 procedure points which I've got to rule on.
This would
now,
help, Chair.
Let me rule, because you see, I may even forget. Because this meeting, as we go on, we may not make any progress. So I have to take a decision somehow. I know members really have burning questions. And can I seek indulgence of colleagues? Honorable Babadili's hand has been up for almost, I don't know how many times. So let me hear from Honorable Babadili, then I'll make a ruling on the two procedure points that have been raised by colleagues.
Thank you very much at last for picking my hand.
I apologize.
Chairperson, our people, our visitors are saying the inventory is not there. It's very clear. They say it's not there. It's not there. But now, they said they're using the old law, of which in 1960 something.
It is the one.
Can we have that law to read? Maybe the name inventory is not there. They were using another name. Can you get that old law? And we got, because they could be using that law that time. Can we find out that law and find out what was the requirement that time, so that we don't stick to inventory which was just created recently? Thank you very much.
Procedure, Chair. Final procedure. Chair, when you look at the Constitution of Uganda, 90C, and I'm in agreement with my brother Kasvante, where it says the committee shall have powers of High Court, but the specific one here, that this committee shall have the powers to compel the production of all the documents that would require. This is the Constitution, which is the supreme law. And
okay. Colleagues and governor and members of staff of the bank, I think there are 3 points here. The first one, the bank is not availing them to the committee. 2, whether these documents were not there in the first place. It's not a very good situation, either way. You can't plead that this is a better situation. Because if you are going to take over an institution and your case is, they don't need to require me to state what I'm taking over. Really prudent and professional, you should be able to do that. I mean, anybody doing, you should be able to list what is taking over. Because at some point, your accountability will be what you have taken over. That is the point. Because you cannot account for something which you have not listed. So if you didn't make it, there is a problem there. If you made it and somehow you are not availing it, there is also a problem there. But I don't want to make an order in vain. Even courts of law don't make orders in vain. I don't want to say, can I have that document, when actually the document is not there. Because there is a risk that somebody might go and actually create one. If you want it, then he create one for you. But I don't think that will be the case. So let's do this. We are just on the first query. We have not made any progress. I don't know whether it's the governor or EADS. Let's have in our terms, is this inventory report in existence? Has it ever been in existence or not? I think it is Mr. Sekabila who seems to have an idea. And because we are closing this. Chair, but I've told you the consequences of both.
Chair, the inventory report in the form that would be required by the Auditor General is not available. Next. Has not been in existence. Next. But I also want to give further clarification that the other two lists that you were talking about have been advised by the staff here that list of loans and list of deposits are actually available. They were not supplied to the committee because of confidentiality issues around personal information.
But
Mr. they Sekabira, actually are available.
Mr. Sekabira.
Yes.
And the governor had put it in writing. See, I have this, but they are confidential. And we have agreed that any confidential matter is going to be treated.
It's not just music, it's the joy we find in the melodies of our favorite songs.
Let's not this song, yeah. Kimanye, it's your favorite song. Get wine to the rap King Kong.
To the rest of the world. It's not just movies, it's a chance to experience worlds beyond our imagination. It's not just sports. It's being part of something bigger than ourselves. It's programming that provokes, entertains, and inspires us to dream bigger. It's NTV. It's TV that moves you.
Although they say that the lion is the king of the jungle, the people who deal in the timber have realized they are the masters of the jungle. This is because they detected us about 50 meters away.
It's not just news. It's stories that touch hearts, sharpen opinions, and start conversation.
NTV, turning on your world.
Come and witness the most exciting cultural experience with the biggest names in the African music like Oliver Mutuku, Habib Koite, and Hoba Hoba Spirit, alongside the amazing local talent led by Michael Oguma, Waiki Bender, and other performers like the extremely talented Basoga Sound Xylophone Group, the exciting Zizi Adungu Group, together on one stage in the biggest 3-day African Cultural Music Festival in East Africa, in Katuri Kirachidandongo district, from the 16th to the 18th of November. The Mzizi Sounds of the Now Festival.
Sabuni ono
kubanga atukuzanga sabuni yenno wa bulijjo
eriyo agiramu ddala amabala gonna mu lwoza lumu
tekisoboka
wetegereze omuddo chai w'amajaani ne chocolate
nja kumwetaaga embatu bbiri
n'olubatu lumu lwokka olwa eriyo olabye aggyemu amabala gonna
oba olonze bulungi
eriyo aggyamu amabala amazibu gonna mu lwoza lumu lwokka.
Okwebaka mu kapale akatobye, okwebaka mu pampa kapale empya. Pampa kapale empya zesuze mu Uganda kuba n'emikutu ogusooka ogwokubiri n'ogwokusatu oguziyambako okunywa n'okukala emirundi 3 okusinga endala zonna. Ate tezikkiriza obunyongovu kukuŋŋaanira mu kifo kimu olwo omwana wo n'afuna otulo tulungi. Kati weeziri mu sayizi 6. Pampa kapale empya yagala okwebaka n'okuzannya.
NTV brought you the first economic summit in 2016 on jumpstarting Uganda's economic transformation, turning vision into action.
I think we spend over $800 million as a country every single year importing stuff.
My strong view is that we need to invest heavily at different levels in the agricultural value chain.
In 2017, we brought you the second economic summit, triggering Uganda's economic sustainable growth with jobs.
For the majority of farmers have issues adopting production technologies that would help and increase yields and quality.
The interest rate is the key price in the economy. You cannot have a CBR rate of 9.5% and then you have retail lending rates in the upper double digits. That spread is unnecessary.
This year, NTV brings you the 3rd Annual Economic Summit under the theme, Key Policy Triggers for Economic Growth with Jobs. The summit will be held on the 28th November 2018 at the Kampala Serena Conference Center. The summit is brought to you by the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development and NTV, turning on your world.
This will be the first manned mission to land on the moon.
Neil, if this flight is successful, you'll go down in history.
We're planning on the flight being successful.
The entire world's watching.
5, 4. We need to fail down here so we don't fail up there. 3.
We've got this under control.
2.
You're a bunch of boys. You don't have anything under control.
1.
First Man, rated PG-13.
Katukwanjulire Always Cotton Soft. Zanjawulo akasusu kayo kagonvu ate kaweweevu ku mubiri gwo ate nga zikuwummuza nga bwe zikuwa obukuumi olunaku lwonna. Zisangibwa mu maduuka gonna ku siringi 25 zokka.
Amannya nze Sozi Wilfred, driver wa taxi. Olunaku lumu nali nvuga mmotoka nga nva mu nnyendo nenneekanga emmotoka eyali eyisa mu katonga kukakkana n'entomera naye abantu bonna baafa. Nze ekyannyamba okuwona kubanga nali nsibye olukoba era nsaba abantu bonna buli atuula mu mmotoka asibenga olukoba baasinga tebwali lukoba sandiwonye nga mwenna oba oli mu maayikoba mmotoka kisiba olukoba n'ebinnya bino ebiri mu kibuga oluusi kiyinza okukuba era n'oyisibwa bubi nnyo ne kikuviiramu obulemu. N'olwekyo nsaba abagoba b'ebidduka bonna n'abatambuze bonna tweddeko tusibe seat belt n'okuyisa nga twegendereza tutaase obulamu.
This message was brought to you by Viva Energy and NTV Uganda. Connect with the dopest show, hottest entertainment news, and home to great hits. Catch up with your favorite celebrity, exclusive interviews, behind the scenes, and performances. It's fresh, funky, and fan. It's NTV The Beat. Monday to Friday, 5 p.m. with Daggin Eyes, Tracy, DJ Brian, Dash, Baby Love,